Hello and welcome to Engage, the program that focuses on community-engaged learning, research, and service at Mississippi State University. I am your host, Meggan Franks, and today I am joined by Dr. Merivaki, who is an assistant professor in American politics in the Department of Political Science and Public Administration. So hello and welcome, Lia, to Engage. So,
nice to be here. Thank
you. I would love to get to know you a little better and talk to you about your community engagement programs that you've been involved in, primarily campaign politics and then your role as a fellow here. But first, I'd like to know about how you found yourself here at Mississippi State University.
Thank you. That's a great question. Thank you for having me. Mississippi State was gracious enough to offer me a job. That's the short answer.
Yeah.
I'm my native Greek. I got my PhD at the University of Florida, studying American politics and elections. And after graduation, I applied for jobs, and this was one of the ones that I was a good fit for. And it's great because I am able to do all of these things, like you mentioned, with community engagement and conduct research with my students. So it has been great so far.
And so you've found, I guess, an interest in community engaged learning and developing this community engaged learning course, campaign politics. You want to talk about just the development of that course?
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question. The nature of my research requires me more or less to interact with partners and the community in general. So I found it to be straightforward and very intuitive to involve students in the process and get them exposed to how research is conducted, how they interact with community partners, and the tools they get when they graduate and they apply for jobs. So I was very excited when I heard the opportunity for the Community Engaged Fellows, and I was one of the first to apply the inaugural group. That was a great experience that helped me realize that some of the things that are involved in the process I was already doing, but there were many more components to it that I hadn't thought about, which would help the students develop more their critical analysis skills, their reflection skills, and also build stronger relationships with the community. So that was the first opportunity to think about how I can adapt it and adjust community engagement in my classes at Mississippi State. And with the midterm election coming in 2018, that was a great timing to implement it with my students for campaign politics. Mm. So I tried to incorporate working with political parties and advocacy groups and students to work with local election officials. So kind of expose students to different ways of doing campaigns, not solely thinking about working in campaigns in the context of a political party. And in a broader perspective, thinking about how we engage the voters, not to vote for a party, one candidate or another, but to be engaged in voter registration and being informed in politics, which extends beyond partisanship. Mm-hmm. So that was my thinking coming into the fellows program, and I learned so many things and I keep on learning. It's ongoing, yep. But it has been great, and students received it very well, yeah. And they're doing great things after this.
And so how did the course work? So they will go to class, learn, have an in-class experience, and then they volunteered throughout the week. So it was a little complicated.
Yeah, and I suspect every class is different. Yeah. One of the caveats in my case was that there were some exogenously imposed deadlines, like the National Voter Registration Day was early September, then the election is in November. So building a curriculum around that was a challenge because you need to balance, as you said, instruction and materials and the practical component of the class. So yes, I did include instruction in the classroom. Students got to work together as teams. They had time to meet the partners. They also had to work on the field, as we called it, during the semester. But the biggest chunk of their work was, during election time when they were working on the ground. But I tried to keep it ongoing so that it doesn't overwhelm the students. And there were different things that they were learning throughout the process.
Yeah, and so the benefits to the students, so benefits to the agency. Why do you feel like the class was so important for students to get involved?
I think, contextually speaking, Mississippi is a red state. It's a state that is not considered very competitive, and that's why not many the media candidates don't pay much attention to engaging voters. We know that turnout among college students is low. That prompted the All-In Democracy Challenge that I wanted to incorporate it into my class and kind of try to make it a mission of my class, but also hopefully we build it into the institution's mission, Mississippi State, that our students are engaged, they want to be involved in politics, they work to register their fellow students to vote, they're informed. So the benefits were that students realized that there's much more to elections than just voting, that there are challenges that some people face that they hadn't necessarily thought of them before, like how easy it is or difficult to register to vote. So fostering in this culture of information, of these inequalities that some students don't really think about because they're not exposed to them. And that comes from interaction with the community and their fellow classmates. And then in combination with the textbook materials, they know, they realize that it's much more important than they thought before.
That's great. We're going to take a short break and we'll be back to talk to Dr. Merivaki about her project with campaign politics. Thank you.
A baby's arrival can be one of the most exciting times in a family's life. It can also be one of the most anxious, especially if the child's development is hindered by medical challenges that create more questions than answers. At Mississippi State University, we're groundbreakers in the study of Charge syndrome, a genetic condition that leads to a host of life-threatening birth defects. Our research teams are uncovering breakthroughs in treatment and prevention with a goal of greater understanding that leads to better care. We're also providing crucial support resources for parents and helping physicians around the globe gain awareness so symptoms can be detected and addressed earlier. By engaging in this innovative analysis and therapy, we're not only improving outcomes, we're unlocking brighter futures. Everyone remembers their favorite teddy bear, the reassuring love of their first puppy. They comforted us and made us laugh. For children battling abusive situations or post-traumatic stress disorder, the memories aren't as pleasant. That's why, at Mississippi State University, we're pioneering a robotic technology that brings healing to those exposed to traumatic situations. Known as Therabot, MSU's robotic beagle includes lifelike features that allow it to move in ways that are both natural and nurturing. Its ultimate goal? To bridge the gap between two types of effective therapy, using real animals and their plush counterparts for emotional assistance. At MSU, we're proud to be changing the game in therapeutic recovery, even prouder to be putting lives back together again. Imagine the possibilities from one of the world's fastest supercomputers. We are at Mississippi State University, where we ring true.
So we are back with Dr. Merivaki talking about her role in developing the campaign politics course and then also as a fellow at Mississippi State. So we were talking about benefits and the benefits of this partnership on the students. We talk about the benefits on the community partner and the institution as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
definitely. So one of the partners that I used in my campaign politics class is called Mississippi Vote. They're a non-partisan, non-profit organization that was is recently launched, and its mission is to engage and inform voters, and they conduct voter registration drives. So that was it made sense to partner with them. They also had a fellow on campus who was working and coordinating things with them. That was great, and that because that student was in my class, so it was very natural to work with them. We built relationships. That was a great relationship back and forth because we learned things, but they also learned how to interact with students in different contexts, and some of the things they need to think about as they move forward and they build their organization. So the campaign politics is how we run. We work with the same partner in the spring semester, and students actually lobbied the state legislature. So that's another thing that I want to develop as I move forward with my courses here at Mississippi State. The benefits for Mississippi State are immense, not to mention for the students. It's exposure. Mississippi State can be a leading institution in community engagement. That's my opinion. And with these efforts from faculty, and especially in politics, I think it can really take center stage because students are very active and they just need more opportunities to be part of the political life and engagement, especially when it comes to politics and elections and policy.
Yeah, and your class was also part of even a larger effort at Mississippi State called the MSU All-In Democracy Challenge.
Yeah, so thank you.
Yeah.
We partner with student government and student affairs division, and that was kind of our strategy on how to get the voter-friendly designation for Mississippi State. And again, it made sense for me to incorporate it in my class, and I have a body of students that I can employ on the ground, and we can be more effective in voter registration and information activities. So that was one component to make that strategy happen for the All-In Democracy Challenge. More faculty were part of this, other students were part of this, they volunteered to do it. It was great because we had about 100 students on the ground. And they were so excited to be part of it, and they were talking to their friends about it. So we hope to build this, and I intend to do that for 2020 as well. So the All-In Democracy stands,
Yes.
and we're building more, momentum for next year.
And we won that award, or we received that designation.
We did
also,
receive the designation,
so
yeah.
I was looking at that document.
We also got a mini grant
Okay.
very recently from the Students Learn, Student Vote Coalition.
Okay.
And we're discussing with other faculty from sociology. That's sponsored by the Scholar Strategy Network. And we're thinking of doing a summit for young voters in the spring.
Yeah.
So that's breaking news.
Yeah.
So we hope that we can, again, raise more awareness and make Mississippi State a central, actor in these efforts.
Yeah, and all of this started with your involvement in fellows.
I think I wouldn't have conceived it that way. And the Center for Community Engagement gave me more resources, absolutely, on which people to talk to, because, as a junior researcher and academic, I wasn't sure of, who to approach. So that gave me the opportunity to talk to student affairs and then kind of, catch up so that we can put it on the ground in time for 2018.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for that opportunity.
So we have about 45 seconds left.
Okay.
Any advice that you have for a faculty member that's looking to get involved in community engagement?
The first thing I hear from faculty is that I don't know how I can put that into my class. And the good thing about the fellowship program is that it doesn't really require you to have a solid idea in your mind.
Yeah.
So I would advise go in with an open mind, take the time, and it's great. I wish I could do it again, and I often volunteer to go back and talk to new fellows. It's great. So, and I think that we should all do our classes in that way.
Yeah.
Students really enjoy it, and they learn so many things,
Well,
and they're better equipped. So.
Yes, they are. Thank you. Well, thank you for joining us today on Engaged. And so until next time, go forth, do good things, and get involved in your local community. Thank you.